Guys, on a new piece of technology. I am so behind on making a video on this. ChatGPT, a chatbot trained off of GPT-3, created by the same developers. So, first, there are examples, compatibilities, and limitations with this thing. But I want to hop in and create some D&D. So, here's how you would do that. Or this is how I do it. First, I write a D&D character sheet on a orc warlord named Greg. Once I do that, it'll start writing. Sure, here is the character sheet for Orc Warlord named Greg. Name Greg, race Orc, class Warlord, ability scores, gives us all that. It's strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Skills, athletics +5, intimidation +4, perception +1, I guess he's not observant, survival +3. So he's a great weapon master, he's a warcaster. He has chainmail armor, great sword, shield, backpack, bedroll, rations, water skin, torches, and healing potions. Then gives us his personality. He's fierce warrior, respected. His ideals is power. He is evil, apparently, completely evil. He is fiercely loyal. His clan, his temper has gone best him. So we're gonna take that flaw and say, write a story about when Greg lost his temper and smashed the family urn. Once we say that, since it can remember what we put in before, it's going to do this. Greg stood in the center of Clan's Great Hall, fuming with anger. His sister, Kara, had just told him she had always been chosen to be the new clan leader, a position that Greg had always believed that should be his. "This is dangerous," he shouted, slamming his fist down on the table. "I am the strongest warrior in the clan. I should be the one leading us." Kara tried to calm him down, but Greg was beyond reason. He grabbed the family urn, a sacred object that had been passed down through generations, and threw it ground with all his might. The urn shattered to pieces, the shards scattered across the floor. The other orcs in the room gasped in shock and horror. Such a blatant display of disrespect for their elders was unforgivable. Kara's face turned red with anger and stepped forward to confront her brother. "How dare you!" she shouted. "You have brought shame upon our family and our clan. You are no longer welcome here. Leave and do not return until you have learned to control that temper." Greg knew he had gone too far. He hung his head in shame and left the Great Hall, banishing himself from the clan. It was a long, difficult journey, but eventually he learned to control his temper and returned clan, a wiser and more disciplined warrior. So if we want to punish Greg for this one, we can write about the curse that followed Greg as punishment for destroying the urn. Greg had always been a proud orc, fiercely loyal to his clan, determined to prove his strength and worth. But when he let his anger get the best of him and destroyed family urn, a sacred object that has been passed through generations, he knew he had gone too far. As punishment for his actions, the clan's shaman placed a curse on him. From that day forward, Greg would be plagued by bad luck in all things, no matter how hard he tried. He could not seem to catch a break. His hunting expeditions always ended in failure, and all his crops withered in the fields. At first, Greg tried to brush off curse as coincidence, but as months went by and his fortunes continued to decline, He began to believe it was more than bad luck. He became bitter and resentful, lashing out on those around him, alienating those who had once been his closest friends and allies. As the years passed, Greg's curse seemed to grow stronger and more powerful. No matter where he went or what he did, he could not escape its grasp. It seemed that the spirits themselves were determined to punish him for his disrespect and lack of self-control. But even in darkest times, Greg never lost hope. He knew that he had brought this curse upon himself, and he was determined to find a way to lift it. He spent countless hours in meditation and prayer, seeking the guidance of the spirits and wisdom of the ancestors. Eventually, after many long years and difficult years, he was able to lift curse and reclaim his place in the clan. So that's one thing we can do with this. We're going to continue this because I want to find out more about his story. So, right about when the gods lifted the curse. So this is going to expand that certain aspect of this event. After many long, difficult years, Greg's luck finally began to return. His hunting expeditions were successful, and his crops flourished in the field. It seemed as curse had plagued him for so long was finally lifted. One day, as he sat in meditation, Greg received a vision from the gods. They spoke to him, telling him his suffering had served its purpose, and that it was time for him to be forgiven. They lifted the curse that had been placed upon him, and Greg felt a weight lifted from his shoulders. Overjoyed at the news, Greg returned to his clan, shared the good news with his fellow orcs. They welcomed him back with open arms, glad to see their warrior brother return them. Greg spent the rest of his days honored and respected by his clan, and he never forgot the lessons he learned through his suffering. He vowed to always control his temper and show respect to ancestors and gods, knowing that their favor was a blessing that could be easily lost. So that was the story of Greg's curse. If you want to play with this yourself, go and look it up. It's free for now, but it's just plain awesome. I am loving playing around with it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I want to go ahead and review this amazing story. So I hope you guys enjoyed.